I thought the first video that I should make with respect to the NGA initiative would be one that would explain the reason behind or the starting point of this initiative. And I said, how better than to start with this current Kaduna crisis? That will be the best way to explain. A line in the constitution of the country says every Nigerian has a right to life. That is one of the fundamental laws of our society. It is a fact and it is truth. Go and check it. That is what is there. That is what the government swears to uphold. Every governor, every major public official swears to that constitution to uphold it. So if we were to have people infringe on a very fundamental right of Nigerians, which is a right to life, I would expect that this said government will by now have sent in the security forces, visibly verifiable, with cameramen following them, to go and make the arrests, because the people who have done this killing have not disappeared. But no, we are hearing of curfew. We're hearing of pray. And we're all talking on Facebook and social media how it is so bad. Litigating the problem. I'm asking, don't we know the law? How come we have not risen up in one voice and said, Mr. Government, Nigerian souls, just like mine, their blood is on the streets of Kaduna. And you are placing a curfew. Where are the arrests? Oh, don't our people know that when you kill, according to the law, you should stand for that crime? But maybe we don't know the law. And that's why my initiative is starting on the path of education. To re-educate my people that what makes us a country are those very laws. Those very laws that all of us freeborn have come together to compromise on, that we are all flawed. So we will set a standard of laws with which we will use to govern ourselves, because we are all equal. But the Nigerian situation is an unequal equation. We have a higher class and we have a very, very lower class. The only way, in my view, to balance this equation is for the man at the bottom to know that that man he's looking at up there, according to the law of this land, we are equal. So the equation can be balanced. So that now every citizen will come from a place of equality and make a calculated, educated decision on who they want to appoint from a place of equality to be a servant. Because that is what the word public servant means. But we have gotten so complicated that we cannot read simple words anymore. You write a post, and people say it is too long. Yet, the very education you need can only come by learning. That is how this world has advanced. From talking, we started writing. And we have always read. Now we are a generation that is too fast to read. And then we suffer. And remember the saying, my people suffer for lack of knowledge. How can you be getting the short end of the stick and you say you know, and you are not asking for that equality? You are not asking that the people who stand and say before God and man, I will uphold this constitution. And they are not upholding it. And we're all looking and doing the worst thing. This is our biggest problem. We have grown up to litigate problems. That's what we do. And there's a universal law that says, what you sow, you will reap. Sow a thought, you reap an action. Sow an action, you reap a habit. Sow a habit, you reap a character. Sow a character, you reap a destiny. So when your thinking is always about problems, because the sowing is not in the action, it is the very thought. When you are thinking only problems, the destiny is a problematic one. Because the beginning thought before the actions is already a defeated one. But when you know there are always problems in life and you say, okay, I am going to start litigating solutions. The destiny is a solved one. I am not coming from an idealistic perspective where I expect everything to be perfect because we are all flawed. But what I'm asking for is for us to gravitate towards equality. First, so that every man and woman, Nigerian, knows her right, his or her right. And that is only going to come by education. Then, when we all at least are moving towards that level, then the solutions will come. Then you will have better government. Better government. Listen to what candidates are saying. What do we say in Nigeria? We say the government. Who is the government? The government is for the people, by the people. When you exercise your vote, you are playing, you have a responsibility to yourself and a responsibility to your society. And you are exercising that free right. You are appointing someone who is supposed to go and be there for the best interest. 58 years. We've been cycling, fighting corruption. If you go to the 5th schedule of the Nigerian Constitution, it says, and I'm not going to quote verbatim, it says, every public official, when coming into government, must make their financial records public, supply them to the Code of Conduct Bureau, their assets and their children's, and every 4 years, and when they leave office. Now, I'm not impugning anyone's character or saying anyone is a criminal. But I'm saying, if you really want to fight corruption, the Code of Conduct Bureau should have all financial records of every official since 1999. This is English, people. Can those records be made public? Because every Nigerian, because we are the government, we need to know the financial records of the people we have appointed, because that is what public servant means. So that if we know and we can all see, then we will know that Nigeria's money that we have been looking for is not with them. Because every resource of Nigeria belongs to Nigerians, not for a certain class. If the man at the bottom has this knowledge and more, tell me we won't be better. What are we afraid of? This is the only life you know. Do you know of another one you've kept somewhere? Why are we standing in shit and we keep stepping in it and we don't want to step out? And we're fighting on social media. The civics that unites us is greater than the politics that divides us. And when you talk to people, people are in a rush to get solution. And I'm saying, if we are not knowledgeable, even if the solutions come, and there are a lot, we will destroy it with our own hands. Let me give you an idea of a solution that might prick your brain a little bit, just to tell you how I think. We generate a lot of waste in Nigeria. A lot of waste. A lot of things that we can recycle. Imagine if we had the idea to set up recycling hubs and start it this way. You don't implement something nationally. You pick a pilot local government. Instead of paying for a private jet, we buy bags. And we try in this pilot local government to get people in their homes to sort their waste. We will employ Nigerian youth from this community, and we will teach them to teach their people how to sort waste. And then we start teaching sorting waste and collecting them in a certain area. Say we succeed with something like that, one pilot community, and we start to extend this out. Then we can go and call the international community, investors. They want to invest. We say, come and build recycling infrastructure for us. And we will sign an agreement with you for, say, 20 years. That the revenue will go to you on the grounds that you will employ 70% of your workforce will be Nigerian youth. So that when you are leaving in 20 years, Nigerian youth from maybe 20 to 25, when you are leaving in 20 years, our children will have become 40. And they will be able to pass it on to younger ones. We will employ our children. Our youth will get work. And a lot of that waste that we're throwing away, there are things that can be passed on to other people. We start recycling a lot of the knowledge that our people have gotten from school. There's now more raw material, things they can use, innovation. And there's many more. But I wanted to use that to prick your brain, to see whether you will see what I see. I see Nigeria as the most blessed nation in this world. One out of every 4 blacks in the world is a Nigerian, bordering on 200 million people. We have rich food, culture, hard-working people in whatever circumstance. And we have been blessed with immense natural resources. We're strong. Look at us in athletics. Go to the field of medicine. We just heard that the best robotics engineer is a Nigerian. But of course, if you put us in the worst circumstances, we also know how to produce the worst. But I'm not going to call names. And we have wasted this blessing because we have continued to cower in slavery and made human gods for ourselves, that we cannot question them about equality. And then we say, when I get into government, you hear candidates. I've gone to listen to all the candidates, and I'm sorry to say my personal opinion is that they're all crap. Not impugning their character as personal people. No, I'm sure they're very nice people. But in managing the affairs, that as a thinking, bleeding Nigerian, you are my public servant. You want to be my public servant. I can't agree with any of them, and I will explain to you why. I listen to the words people use. When you listen to words, you get meaning. Somebody wants to come into government and you want them to picture, I want to go and serve 200 million people. And you hear them use words like, when I come into power, when the party gets into power, when we get into government. What government? What government? What government? What is this government? You are called to serve. And so, we need to call the Code of Conduct Bureau. This is 2018. We're in a technological era. And Nigeria, at least we have been spending money on IT, and we have a lot of IT professionals. It shouldn't take us long to make all of these records public. If you don't want to be a public servant, please remain a private citizen and keep your financial records closed. But in my view, if we're going to get it right, you are coming into government, your financial records must be made public, so we can know that you have the credibility to lead us. But does the man at the bottom, does he know this? And I'm afraid I say no. And that's why I'm trying to be a voice and to gather other voices that, look, solutions will come naturally. But we need education first. It is very important. We need to take the first step. We cannot run in one day. Education. So I implore you, if this video reaches you, to know that you've been hearing from a Nigerian patriot whose family lost virtually all they had, almost, in Kano, and came face to face with death. Why am I asking for one Nigeria? Why am I working for this Nigeria that has done that to me? A Nigeria that has killed souls that I know. Why will I be fighting to want to be united with people who I know who have done that? One of my best friends in the whole world is still from Kano. We're all, in my view, we're all human. I'm not a humanist, but we need to remember that who we are. All these names we give ourselves. We all come to this world the same way. We're all going to live, and we're all going to die one way or another. That man you cannot question is not your God. And if you don't believe in God still, he's not your God. He's your equal. Oh, I need to wake this man up at the bottom. Because for me, I'm not going to back down. I invite you to join me on social media. And if you agree with me, let's start talking on how we can educate our people and how we can increase the audience so that we don't have to wait until 2023, I believe. time is now. Why should you suffer one day more? Why should we have people dying one day more? One more day. More people are going to die. More Nigerians. In closing, I have a joke I like to tell myself. I said, a government that says it is a good government, that says it has the hearts and mind of the people, that government will at least know that we are all equal. So I wonder how, if that equality is true, or at least close to it, there are people in Nigeria who don't even know what healthcare is. Yet, there are people in Nigeria who will fly abroad on Nigeria's funds in the name of serving Nigeria. You have to agree. You don't have to. But for me, that makes absolutely no sense. I'm not asking for an ideal, but I'm saying if some people are going to be able to go abroad, majority of the country should be able to access good healthcare because we're all equal. So let us start trying to make this equation more balanced. I believe in respect for elders, and I will respect every elder when we meet on a different level. But when it comes to managing the resources that belongs to all of us, we're equal. And if you want to be a public servant, I have every right to question you, and you will not use the force that we the people have compromised on to be our law enforcement. You are breaking the law, and you will be breaking the law if you use that force against anyone that questions equality. You will be in violation of the lines of the Constitution that says we are allowed free expression and we have liberty. And dignity. And a God-given right to life. The very life me and you have. Hopefully, I've been able to catch my thoughts, and I hope to make more of these videos. So, I look forward to talking with you. Thank you.